Project Sapling was the culmination of a number of different factors. The primary driver for Sapling was to try to overcome donor hesitancy surrounding reforestation in very remote, challenging and difficult contexts. And what we've wanted to do is to create something that is able to provide an additional level of verification, incorporating both high-tech and low-tech, and then using that to form a mechanism to give an increased level of confidence to those that want to invest in these projects.
In order to ensure that trees are growing and to get credibility and funds for a large-scale project, you have to be able to monitor the growth of trees. You have to be able to pinpoint exactly where your trees are at every single time. The confidence, the comfort of opening your laptop and logging them and seeing your trees growing, to see how well your money is spent, to see your investment on the ground. I think it's very important, and it's the uniqueness of Project Sapling.
At the same time, it's about integrating these projects into the local communities, where the local communities provide not just the workforce, but they become the custodians of these forests.
Here, the communities are important because they are the direct beneficiaries. All what we're doing, we'll live here and they are going to enjoy it. Their children will come over time and they'll be getting those fruits. And it also helps the environment by reducing the pressure on the national park that is here.
What we've tried to do is effectively break the project down into 3 or 4 different elements. The first one is the use of drones, frontier technology. We're using that primarily for mapping areas which are either requiring a greater level of detail or are too small to warrant turning to high-resolution satellite imagery. So where we're looking at smaller areas, drones are an ideal fit. The second bit of tech we're testing is an app for a mobile smartphone. Firstly, the key requirement is we want it to capture all of the data of each of the saplings as it's being put in the ground. So that's going to include the data such as its GPS coordinates, its unique identifier, where we're using a tag on each tree with a unique QR code, which has got special resin on it so it won't degrade with UV. And then using the app to collect that data along with the species, the person or the team that actually planted it, and obviously when it was planted. So we're kicking off with quite a good array of data, which we then supplement with photographic evidence of the sapling actually being planted. So we've got all of that data plus the visual verification from the photograph. One of the crucial outputs that we've been able to create under Project Sapling is the data portal. It's able to fuse the data from the drone. It then also fuses the data from the mobile apps for the people that are planting, take all of that data onto the cloud, with it fused, and then display it in a highly graphical, highly intuitive map style data portal. So what we've learnt as we've proceeded through the sapling methodology, by capturing the data and then fusing it, and then starting to learn how to output it in the formats required for us to be able to engage with both potential donors, investors and the carbon markets.
Deforestation is definitely an issue in Sierra Leone. People have to cut sticks and trees to build their houses, to clear land for agriculture, and basically be able to provide the people their day-to-day income. But at the same time, this is happening a little bit in mass. Sometimes it goes overboard. There can be a lot of logging, a lot of shipments to other countries where the wood will go. And this is obviously having a big impact in national parks, community forests, and the landscape in general. I think because of the monitoring of the trees, Project Sapling will hopefully help fight against deforestation in a sense that it brings new technology. People will become excited. We can reforest forest patches that have been depleted so far, and be able to track that the efforts that we are doing are still in place, be able to check every few months that the trees are still there and that no one's going back to cut them again. To date, I think one of the biggest learnings from Project Sapling is ensuring that the community understands how their roles and their individual actions link back to the bigger picture. We know that the community understands that how they plant in their straight lines with their geotagging, they know that it will link up to the drone technology that we have, but we need to make sure that the community can have a fuller understanding of how those two things come together. And I think that way they will be more committed for the long-term investment in Project Sapling. The community was really excited with the mobile app technology. It's very visual. Everyone was very clear on how to use it, how to scan the QR code that's tagged around each sapling. But the best thing about it is that even people who are somewhat illiterate can still use the app because it's so visual. It has big buttons, it has colors. There are only a few steps. So it doesn't mean that only those who can read and write in the community are able to use the mobile application. We can have anyone who wants to try and learn it can, and I think that's quite a sense of empowerment for community members.